Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Marson, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about making long songs and why I think that every musician, no matter how big or how small and no matter what genre they are in, I think that they should make at least one song that is at least 7 minutes in length. Now first, why have I picked 7 minutes? Why not 5? Why not 6? Why not 9? Why not 8? Why not 15? Right? Why 7 minutes in length? Well, think about it like this. I reckon that the average pop song is about 3.5 minutes. I've seen a chart which says that in sort of 2010, the average pop song was about 3.5 minutes, and it's since gone down to about 3 minutes, right? And then you've got your shorter songs that are like sort of 2 minutes, and then like there's a few that are like 1 minute 50 and that kind of thing. But overall, the average sort of normal pop song, I think we would agree 3 minutes to 3.5 minutes, pretty standard, right? No one would turn their nose up or look confused at a pop song that is 3 minutes and 20 seconds long. No one would go, oh, I wonder why it's that long, right? No one would do it, right? And then you start to get to your normal but long songs, right? And these are the sort of things, you know, say your average pop artist, right, who never experiments, never does anything weird. They usually have a couple songs in their discography that are like 5 minutes 09, you know, and they're not anything special. So there's always that kind of, I'd say 3 to 5 minutes is the average length for pop. And by pop, I mean just popular in general, not necessarily the current day contemporary pop music, but all pop music across history, been about 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, I suppose earlier on in the 60s and stuff, it was like 2 to 3 minutes, but you know what I mean. And then you've got your slightly longer songs, the things that people associate with long songs, your Bohemian Rhapsodies, your Hotel Californias, your Comfortably Numbs, right? And they're all about 5 to 6.5 minutes long, right? 7 minutes long is longer than all of that, which is, it's longer than all of the standard ideas of length and structure and pacing within music, right? 7 minutes is beyond all of that. 7 minutes is the equivalent of a 2.5-hour film, right? And then past 7 minutes, you're looking at, you know, your progressive rock, your drone, your, you know, metal. A lot of metal tends to be quite long. Iron Maiden, Metallica, lovemaking, 7, 8, 9 minute songs. So you're entering these sort of territories where things are getting a little bit more interesting in terms of arrangement and composition, right? And I'm not saying that to denigrate general pop music. I love Toxic by Britney Spears. There's like 3 Katy Perry songs that I think are solid fucking bangers. Chained to the Rhythm, Raw, and I Kissed a Girl, right? They're all fucking fantastic. They're all, by the way, 3 to 4 minutes long, right? So it's not about doing a long song because you want to differentiate yourself from the masses, from all the plebs making shorter music. The reason that I think that everyone should try it is to see how their style would fit in a long form song, right? I would love to make another video saying why every artist should consider making a 1 minute song, right? But to be honest, I feel like I wouldn't have as much to say. It would be a shorter video. I feel like everyone making a 7 minute song is a more interesting idea because look at the variety of artists there are out there, right? I don't know, take Katy Perry, for instance. She's never made a 7 minute song. What would she do with 7 minutes? What could she do? She's got her general verse, chorus, bridge, chorus format. She could apply that to a 7 minute long thing, just making everything a bit more grandiose, maybe a slower tempo song. Taylor Swift has managed to make a 7 minute song with Dear John. So it's clear that this kind of thing can be done. It's clear that you can make long songs as a pop icon, right? So why doesn't Katy Perry make a longer song? Well, there's label issues and she's probably not particularly interested in the idea of making one for the sake of experimentation. But I would be really curious to see what she would do with that time frame, right? Because every artist would do something different with it. Drake would do something pretty weird. Actually, he's made a 7 minute song. He made Family Matters, which was like 8 minutes. So he's off the hook. Kanye West, has he made a 7 minute song? I can't think of any. Oh, he's made Runaway, but it's wank, so. All right, let's think of some more artists that haven't made long songs, right? The Red Hot Chili Peppers, I don't think they've made a 7 minute long song. They tend to veer into the 4 to 5 minute territory. A lot of their songs are about 4 to 5 minutes with a few 3, 4 minute ones. They must have had a 7 minute song in there somewhere. I just can't think of any, right? But I think they would do something quite interesting with it. I feel like there's a good realm of structure that could be applied, particularly I think in the bringing it down and then crescendoing it back up for your final chorus. I think that kind of thing could be applied to a lot of artists. A lot of them could do that, you know, get to 4 minutes and bring it down a little bit. Bring it up. He's bringing it up. He's bringing it up. He's bringing it up, right? And then you get to maybe, I don't know, 6 minutes, right? And you've done a full crescendo and you've really built the audience up for this big climax, and then you provide them with that climax and it's satisfying, right? I think a lot of artists would get something good out of that, because it's all well and good doing the 3 to 4 minute thing, right? And I'm not saying that to be glib, right? I'm saying that genuinely. It is all well and good having this structure, this compositional technique of moving things from here to here to here to here in quite an efficient manner. And I actually have quite a lot of respect for artists that can do that can make an album of 3 to 4 minute songs, because I fucking can't. I try to, and every song I make ends up being 9 minutes long, okay? So this isn't coming from a place of like superiority. This is me saying, these people who are currently really, really good, doing really, really good things with this short form music, I'd love to see what they could do with longer form music, even just once. I'm not saying that, you know, Katy Perry has to go sticking a fucking prog rock orchestra on every fucking album that she makes, right? I'm not saying that she has to make space rock, okay? But I would love to see what she could do with that time frame, with some more interesting experimentation and stuff that would come from the format of a longer song where there's less expectation of radio play and that kind of thing. What could she do with less restrictions, with less consumer expectations? I think something interesting could come out of that, right? I mean, Taylor Swift fans love is it All Too Well? I think it's called All Too Well. It's like a 10-minute version of it, right? I didn't get much out of it in terms of the structure, but I'm not a complete Taylor Swift fan. So for whoever is a Taylor Swift fan, they will get something out of that, and they clearly did, and they enjoyed it, and they enjoyed this 10-minute song that Taylor Swift made. So I'm really glad that Taylor Swift has done that, and I'd like to see more artists of her caliber. I'd like to see the Drakes and the Kendrick Lamars and all of these people making more long songs. I know Kendrick Lamar has made, what's the fucking thing called on Good Kid, Mad City? Is it Speak to Me? Or Speak About Me, something like that. And that was 7 minutes. So he's got that. That's okay. But I'd like to see a few more. He's got Mortal Man, but I don't like Mortal Man very much. I'm sure there's a point to his long interview that he made up with Tupac, but I found it a bit stupid, really. I think he's got one more long song on... Oh, he's got Fear. He's also got... I'll count Meet the Grahams, because it's 6.5 minutes. And he's also got one on, what's the album with the baby being fed? Mr. Morale. Yeah, he's got one on that as well. So a lot of these artists do have a few of these. And I'd like to see more of these artists trying it, because whenever they do, they come up with interesting things. Speak About Me and Dying of Thirst is one of my favourite, in fact, it might be my favourite Kendrick Lamar song. Dear John is probably my favourite Taylor Swift song. Family Matters is easily my favourite Drake song, if only for the fact I can't think of any other Drake songs I like. And I only vaguely like Family Matters. Yeah, this is kind of the whole point of the video. I just like to see more artists making long songs, because I think there's something to it. And I think that everyone should try it at least once, see if it's for them, and if they like it. Say if Katy Perry makes a 7-minute long song and it turns out she really enjoys it, she can make more, right? Because she has found something new. I'd like for a lot of artists to try something new. If you're a small artist, right, and you've never made a song more than 4 minutes long, make one 7-minute song. Doesn't have to be your magnum opus. In fact, make sure it's not your magnum opus, because I don't want you putting time and energy into something that you don't need to. I don't think you should put all your eggs in the 7-minute song basket. I don't think you should be working towards creating your magnum opus, because that never works out. Your magnum opus will end up being lost to the sands of time, and you'll look at it and go, Jesus, it wasn't very good, all that sand down there, the bottom of that hourglass. Looks a wreck, it's just a pile of sand. I could have worked on something there. I could have boiled that sand down and made it like a Sistine Chapel style fucking thing out of stained glass, but I didn't. It's just a pile of fucking sand there, right? So that's why I want more people to be making 7-minute long songs. I think there's something really useful that you can glean from it. When I made my first 7-minute long song, I felt an extreme sense of accomplishment. In fact, I blew straight through the 7-minute mark. I got to 9 minutes, right? And then I did a 7-minute song after that, and then I did like probably a couple 10-minuters. And then at this point, I think I've done about 3 16-minute ones. I've done definitely a solid handful of 12, 13-minute ones, a good 5 or 6 10-minute ones, and dozens of 7-minute ones at this point, because I like doing that. That is my comfort zone. It's something that I enjoy. But I'm not saying this because you need to make this your comfort zone. I'm not saying that you need to go out and make 7-minute song after 7-minute song, and if you don't, you're not a real artist, or any shit like that. This isn't about pitting creators against one another because, oh, you make better stuff than this person, or you put more effort into making longer songs than this person. This person never made a song over 3.5 minutes. Right? It's not about any of that. It's just about trying something new, seeing if it works for you, because I think it worked for me. And I would love to see more people do it because it's a lot of fun and I really enjoy it. So that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Have you made a 7-minute song before? What did you think of it? Do you think it's your best one? Did you feel an extreme sense of accomplishment when you made your first 7-minute long song? Did you feel anything when you went for a more long form type of music? What changed about the type of music you were making? What changed about the style and the composition and the arrangement techniques? What were you doing differently? And put that down in a comment below. Let me know what you think about that. And this idea of every artist trying at least one 7-minute long song. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Joshua Morrison. This is the Johnny Mozza channel. I've never done an outro like that, where it's like, I've been Joshua Morrison, like in a fucking news bulletin or something. It's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, make a 7-minute long song. Hurry up.